Everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. It is the Quantum Panel Sound Check Show. Give me a sound check, everybody. Well, it doesn't appear that we have anybody yet. That's okay. We sound
Hello?
okay.
Do we sound okay?
I hear you. You hear me. And that sound check complete. Let me go ahead and say that.
Let Storm take a quick gander at it.
Okay. Sound check, please. Sound check.
1, 2, 3.
Testing it all. Sound check, sound check. Waiting for the signal to make noise.
Whoopie doopie. Are we doing
Sound
okay?
check, sound check.
Okay.
We
Hey,
got we're okay.
Christine. There
Hey
you are.
Christine, hey Christine, what's up? Welcome
Good
back
to
to the
see
Quantum
you.
Show. I need to put this in the. I need to make a
She can
banner
hear
for
me.
this.
Now, is the sound any good that you can hear? That's the question right there.
I need to. This needs to be a banner, so we all know what's going on. Gobekli Tepe. Okay, sound
She
check
said
is
we're good.
good. Sound check is good. Okay, and it's up to each one of us to adjust our individual volumes. So you heard me on the first hour.
I did.
I was I got wound up. I did.
No, you
Hey,
didn't. I was in there yelling baloney.
I was I
That's
wasn't
not
able
my favorite cuss word, by the way, folks.
I wasn't looking too much at the chat because I was really Christine, we're talking Gobekli Tepe and how the World Economic Forum has started to pave it over and that is an
Right.
now pavement the way we do it is not going to hurt the Stone Age site.
No.
It really won't. It pisses people off to see it because it's like you don't want to do that to something that is so it holds keys to our understanding of reality. I believe that to be true. Gobekli Tepe, hey Aussie,
There's Aussie. There's Renee. Is here.
it holds a
I know
few
Storm's
keys.
lurking.
Yeah, I mean we're not where we ought to be. We are not where we
No,
should be
we've
as
been
a
held back.
species, right? And it's a variety of factors,
True.
but people keeping us
Third
down,
coast.
keeping us they keep us as sheep. We are like a staple or a cash crop, you would say, that they want to keep a rein on, and they don't want us getting out, and they don't want the out getting in. Stuff
Right.
that's out getting in. Hey, Pinky Leader, the out
Third
getting in.
coast. I'm confused. What is the third coast? Are you talking about the north coast?
I don't know what. Oh,
Australia?
is
What?
do we have a third coast person
I'm
username?
not sure. Well, north coast. North coast is Cleveland and Michigan and those a little bit of New York.
Well, I think she may mean Pinky. I don't know. He she may mean.
Gulf
Oh,
Coast. Okay.
okay. Well, welcome back to the Quantum Show panel talk. Gobekli Tepe,
South
because
Coast.
this is this is one of those heritage sites that really does show where we come from.
Yeah. I was
And
looking at what you were talking about there and where these orchards are planted. You know, my father was a land conservationist and a drainage contractor. That's short speak for ditch digger, okay? And one of the big things that you learn when you're doing drainage or land conserving is how to do it properly. Okay, now I cut my teeth on this stuff, guys. You don't put a tree orchard over an archaeological site. Uh, it's there's not enough nutrients there for those plants, and it's liable to all come down on top of it. That was stupid.
Yeah,
was
you might.
stupid and ill-informed.
It's like they want to. Well, they've already said they're going to cover it back up.
Yeah.
They're going to literally cover it
No,
up.
they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure that others don't know quite where it is. Then they're going to go snooping around in there, a la mine, and see what kind of treasure they can plunder. That's what the goal is.
Yeah.
That
And
can be the only goal.
let me clarify, when we're talking treasure, we don't talk about gold and jewels and stuff like that.
No,
We're talking about ancient knowledge that can advance us as as a breed, as a being. We
as a species. And you're looking at something like this, and I'm not an archaeologist. Okay, I'm done. Archaeologist, and I'm not that well versed in it, but I do know land conservation. I know it very well. Cut my teeth on it, as I said before. And what they propose to do is, by definition, would be to lose that site. They're not going to lose that site, folks. There's riches to be had there. And
mm,
I will say this too. The Vatican is probably cheesed as hell they didn't get there first.
mm, yeah. Somebody somebody was in there talking about the Vatican during the first hour. Like I said, I wasn't able to look at the chat because I had so much material to get out there.
Right.
And
Hello
uh,
everybody in chat. Hi
hey,
Diane.
hey,
Hi Rachel. Hi
hey,
Pinky.
Diane,
I think
Pinky,
Aussie's
Aussie
here.
Tiger,
Aussie Christine, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Let's fill
all
it
the
in.
yeah, we'll get more people coming in on the panel if they are able to.
Right.
Joseph may not because he's been having power outages in his local area. It's not up to him. So there's that. Raven has the link. I don't know. I sent her the link. I haven't heard from her.
Raven's one of the most well-read people on this subject, probably
Hmm.
going.
Raven would
Uh,
be. She was in the chat earlier. I said,
I hope
Raven.
she does come in.
Yeah. I hope Raven. We need you here. We need our Raven.
Yeah.
Because I have what Bright Insight said, and man, if anyone, when y'all, if even if you want to click away from the show, go to the Bright Insight. It's in the description right
Right.
now. Even if
Very
you
well.
want to, yeah, even if you don't watch tonight, watch that. If you have, if you, even if you can't watch this and watch that at the same time, go
Yeah.
watch that. He did a deep dive. He looked at all this stuff is in the public. They have told everything they're doing in public documents and researchable documents, and he looked at it. And they have spread it out. It you know what it reminds me of is the what is it? The industrial military complex. The way they do things, they spread it out to all these different organizations. And
Well,
hey Cold, welcome back.
one
Thanks for
of
coming to
the
the first hour. Go ahead.
one of the most effective ways there are to lie is to tell the bald-faced truth.
Yeah.
I know that sounds counterintuitive, counterproductive for sure, but to lie, you know, using the truth just enough to say, oh, to the masses, everything's okay. Except that there's a couple of us, quite a few of us in here actually, that are on to that mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sure got wound up first show.
I did. I mean, I was cussing and
I know,
yelling and
I
saying,
heard.
burn it down. And
Yeah, getting you wound up's doing something. You're not
I,
all that easy.
no, I like to think I'm a tough room. And it got me. It got me. Atlantis gets me going. And for some reason, Gobekli Tepe hit those same buttons. I
Well,
mean,
because I think that Lannis and Gobekli Tepe is is connected, or else they wouldn't be sitting on it as far as they are.
right, hiding
Now
it.
you think about who's involved here. Who's involved in the Bermuda Triangle? Gee, I believe it might be the same folk, don't you think? I'm just
Yeah.
hillbilly girl. I don't know nothing. You know what I mean. The Pope now admits aliens, yet we know that Catholics did to the Aztecs, and why? Well,
Hmm.
their big thing was they were outraged that there should be human sacrifice, but it was okay to kill a bunch of people to make the point. Okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, I want to bring up who is involved. This guy.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Klaus Schwab. He is literally a real Nazi.
Mhm.
I
He sure
say it.
is.
I'm saying it right here. Come at me, bro. This guy, right? Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. Off the coast of Florida, there are yeah, that was Atlantis area. That was they call it the hot zone.
Mhm.
And number 2 place for UFO sightings, Florida.
Mhm.
Number 1 is Indiana, but number 2 is Florida. I don't know
And
what's
that
up with
isn't
Indiana.
that hilarious with Indiana? I mean, Indiana is just cornfields and Indianapolis.
Yeah,
500s there, not a whole lot of other stuff.
yeah.
I
And
mean, no, I'll probably get crucified for this, but I've been there before. But
are
this
you in
just blows my mind.
cold? Are you in Florida? Are you? Because I went to Florida a couple times once. That was a big trip, and it's great. I love going to Florida. Florida's crazy. So, hey, reality
I
check.
live next to Juarez. You went crazy.
Yeah, there's some crazy people. Cold is in Florida.
A reality check is here.
Hey, reality check. Thanks for coming to the Quanta panel. Appreciate it. Good to have you here. And Cold is in Florida. Says seen many UFOs as well in the neighbors. Yeah, yeah. I think that
You saw his
Florida.
neighbors too?
I think Florida should be number 1 because they just are so used to it. Tampa had aliens materialize in front of them in a mall. Oh my gosh.
Actually, we're talking about
Gobekli Tepe.
Beckley Tepley.
Yeah, we're talking
Oh
about
man, I can't
not
say it
no
once
open
in a long time,
forum.
not
No,
twice.
I'm referring to the chat room, but I'm not having everybody on. I thought about doing that yesterday, but it was unannounced and it was like a spur of the moment thing. But I don't really do an open forum because we've had people come on here and be nasty and don't want that. And I vet people to come on here. I do.
Yeah,
I don't.
it it's
Hmm.
really a bad thing when somebody wanders on here and is high or loaded with something.
And hostile as hell. So
Yeah,
not
no
doing that.
more.
But I will address the chat room. We address the chat room. We're pretty good at watching the chat room.
Yeah, really. If you got questions or comment, we'll try to stay with it.
Yeah, when I'm doing my first hour solo, I'm not so big into the chat room, but we're pretty big here because we got more eyes on it.
Yeah,
And
Nathan, could you take down our buddy there? Thank you
yeah,
so
it's gone.
much. I was getting tired looking at him.
Yeah, that guy. I don't like that guy. He wants to control our lives.
Yeah. What was it? Eat bugs?
Yeah,
Jesus.
you will eat the bugs.
No,
They
she won't.
wants us to do that, and it's like, why? Because it doesn't work with his with. Here's the
It
thing,
works.
right?
No, actually, it works with his agenda. That's
It
where
works.
we're at with it.
That the working with the bug, eating the bugs,
Mm-hmm.
works with his agenda
Hey, he's
because
got
it's
bug
like,
farm set up, of course.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Whenever like I said in the first hour, you don't have to worry about lizard people taking over the world. We have the World Economic Forum. Those guys are. They want you thinking lizard people because you won't be thinking of them. They're
That's
the
the
bad
wrong
guys.
answer.
They're the bad guys.
When there's somebody up to some no good crap, the last people I'm thinking about is an outlander. That's the truth of it.
Yeah. So I'm going to get rid of this picture and I'm going to bring up these pictures of Gobekli Tepe that now the UNESCO site, Bright Insight, did refer to this. And kudos to Bright Insight for doing the work.
God,
Oh,
yeah.
man, did a great job.
He
And
had he had pages and pages of research on it. What was available to research?
yeah, and that's from here. Let alone you have to be over there in Turkey in the area, and it's 21 acres. That is a lot of land when you're talking. You know how many? Okay, comparatively, 21 acres is like all of downtown every city. Okay, all the buildings, all the subway. That's all of downtown. The entire of downtown Nashville, at least. You can take downtown Nashville, put a thing of 21 acres, and some of it gets to the edge and some of it doesn't.
Okay, I'm cold. Major point. Quit
Wait a
barking
minute.
me out, okay?
What's going on here?
Crunchy roasted cock frozen. I believe I'd rather die. Thank you very much.
uh, sorry, Diane. Gotta go. Okay, talk to you
Oh
soon.
man, sorry, Diane.
Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. And yeah, carbon dating. Pinky is saying carbon dating can be off 6,000. Yeah, I don't believe too. I don't have too much faith in carbon dating. But then again, 6,000 years in
It's like a
ar-
moment
in
with what we're talking
archaeological
about.
terms, it's not that long
No,
of a time when you're talking layers of sediment. However, I do understand that. I mean, what was going on here now, from the point of now, 6,000 years ago, we don't know because we've lost it. So it is in one perspective, it's a long time. In another, it's not. And but Gobekli Tepe, they were looking at sediment layers to figure out how old it was.
yeah.
There was no carbon dating. Well, there probably was, but that was secondary to the sediment layers. And
You
it's
you can't carbon date a stone. You can't. You
right.
need
And
something a little bit more
right,
organic,
that
and
they
that's not
were.
going to be there.
Well, I don't know. I didn't look that much. There might be. I don't know.
No,
But
I don't think so. The as far back as they're talking about things like uh, clothing and
hmm,
uh, certain food items and burial would just not be there. And to use carbon dating, even teeth, you could carbon date a tooth, but you cannot carbon date stone. That's the main problem there.
right, right. Well, there are that's why they were counting sediments. And the thing about Gobekli Tepe is they found that it was intentionally covered back up. And I
Hmm.
touched on it in the first hour. Now, they do not people do not do anything for the future.
No.
Generally, they don't. I mean, we have things that we do special. We have to really reach and dig deep to do things for the future, like
I
a
can think of a handful of things that have been done for the future.
yeah, controversially speaking, Mount Rushmore, that was done for the future.
Right.
Okay, that was done for controversially because there's some stuff behind Mount Rushmore that, I mean, facts behind Mount Rushmore that is really,
Right.
like, I don't want to talk about it this show.
but
Yeah,
but the seed bank, that's for the future.
seed
God
bank
help us all
in
if we have to
what is it,
use it.
in Sweden, right?
Either Norway or Sweden. Maybe it's in Finland. I'm not sure.
You know what? I can find that out
A
right now.
storm. Find out for me where that seed bank is. The seed bank, the big one. Yeah, storm is on it.
Okay.
That that was done for the future. Most of our museums is done for the now. Believe it or not.
Yeah, to teach us now, it doesn't.
Beg your pardon. Oh, there we go. Svalbard,
Yeah,
uh, Svalbard, Global Seaboard. Now
that's
where
it.
is it? Norway.
Norway. Okay. I
Right.
said Sweden. Oh well.
Well, yeah, we're like most Americans. We just shove them all together and think it's the same place. It really isn't.
Right.
It really isn't. It's a very different country than Sweden is, or Finland, or Denmark.
Owned by Svalbard Global Seed Vault is owned by Norway and managed in partnership between the Norwegian Ministry of Agriculture and Food, the regional Gene Bank, Nordgen, and Crop Trust. And you know what? I would trust those guys well beyond the World Economic Forum. Link
Boy,
will be
I
in the
guess.
description after the
I
show.
don't question their motives. Something
Right.
with the World Economic Forum? I don't think so. That usually tells me that they're after money. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That can only be the reason for their involvement in this. And uh, future generations, I think not. That this crowd has been so busy lining their pockets that anything to do with the future is not in their plans except to make more money. Now that's now for all complaints you can call Shadow and Son, and but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. They have the natural. They have all the money they need. It's about power control now. Yeah, World Economic Forum. That's what they do. They own every resource we use. They
Mhm.
own. Okay, here's how this works, right? When I say own, I don't mean they have it in their hand. I mean they have legal rights to it that we as a people have agreed that those are valid and we need to respect that. And they have taken advantage of that system. Hey, Monty, I will check Facebook Messenger and Facebook in. Well, no, I didn't see it. I didn't see what you're talking about, Monty. I'll go look right now.
In any case, these guys they own it lock, stock, and barrel head, and getting it off of them is going to isn't going to happen. We'll just put it that way.
And
Not in
for
our world today.
yeah, and for future generations, what does that mean? He
Well,
went on and
they're
hmm,
talking about stuff that they're when they're talking about that, they've got to be talking about their power and control. They have to.
yeah, yeah. There, if it was to get out now, we would break away,
Mhm.
and that's something they don't want. We would break away. So they're putting a timestamp on it and wrapping it up in contracts with other people. There's like one for the museums, one for the orchard, one for and there's like all these different things that they want to involve people in. It's called log jamming, where
Mhm.
they get it so complicated nobody wants to mess with it. And
Exactly.
it takes too much money, too much time, too much effort, and meanwhile they're over there making life hard on the other side of everything.
Well,
Ugh.
no, their whole deal is to own it, so that there is no legal recourse to get it to make that stop. There isn't any. And even if you were to bring war against them, should they win, when they likely would, because guess who owns the armies? You know, the only thing a person can do at this time is know that they're there and what they're up to.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, even
Monty,
contracts and space leaders saying as much.
I don't see anything from you, Monty. Not in Messenger or on like a wall post. So send it again if you would, please. But yeah, I don't know why I got so upset, but it just there's a nerve there. And when I heard Gobekli Tepe, and when I first heard about Gobekli Tepe, it made me it just something primal. I'm talking 20 years ago, okay? Something primal went off in me, and and I don't know why. I didn't know why then, but here we are, and now they're saying we're gonna just leave it alone.
On
What?
some level, we know that it is linked to Atlantis.
Yeah,
On some
and
level, we know that this is what they pulled in Atlantis and probably as early as Lemuria. Same damn thing.
yeah, I am not interested in hiding any kind of history. Okay, in the same sentence of we're covering it up for 150 years, they said on the verge of the fourth industrial revolution. What revolution would that be? What part is it?
AI.
I don't know if it's AI. I don't know if it's AI. I think it's our consciousness. I think our
Could be.
consciousness is the fourth revolution. AI is a good guess. Okay, now let me.
Well, I
Okay,
think it's
Monty.
part of it, if not it's not the whole thing. I do agree with you there, but it's got to be part of what happened in Atlantis. For
Oh
us
yeah,
to be this
definitely.
worked up about it,
I don't
oh
know
yeah.
why I got so upset, but it just hit the same set of buttons that Atlantis hits in me, and the crystal tech
Hmm.
and genetics, and it just hits the same
Well,
buttons, right?
that's
Monty,
how you know they're connected.
I am
Your
not able
psychic's
to.
yelling at you.
Oh, there we go. Maybe I can do it that way. Let me see here.
He seems to have got, well, he's got the
You put it
the
in the
the
chat.
wrench too. He's able to put in a full hot link.
Yeah, but I can't copy from there. Hold on. Yeah, I can. Hold on. Let me see. Let me just
Okay.
save this. I'm not using YouTube, see, because YouTube slows me down.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to YouTube now, though, and go grab that link up.
Yeah.
Thank you,
We
Monty.
had to make Keith stop using the YouTube at the same time because it was wrecking his signal.
Yeah. I try to keep one thing open at a time. Oh yeah, by the way, hit like and subscribe if you're here at Quantum. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Now I got we go. BBC link. It will be okay, that's a oh, you have to sign in. But it's a documentary called Paranormal. Sian Ilari. Let me just share this. Let me share this right here. Yeah, I can share this and just I can at least see and show you guys what he's talking about. And this looks good. This looks like something that I would be interested in.
The artwork's amazing.
Yeah. And it's talking about, let me just read it because I know it's hard to read. Sian Ilari delves into otherworldly mysteries from Britain's most haunted house to a village visited by aliens. I love it. You got me. She's about to uncover extraordinary true stories. Or is she? Like, is it a lie? And first, The Girl, The Ghost, and the Gravestone, episode 1. That
That
I might
might
get
be
this.
fun.
That sounds really good, doesn't
It
it?
does. I'm excited. I think we ought to try it.
Let me see. And it says a documentary, but I'm looking at these still shots and they look very movie made. But that's okay. I can do
Well,
that.
she's probably been at it just long enough to look good, but those topics are certainly eye catching.
Let me look at the village
And
that saw
through
aliens.
the BBC.
It's BBC, yeah. Man, I might do
Okay.
BBC. I might sign up
Yeah.
for the BBC.
I don't know. I like to use the BBC in connection with some of my other news reading, if I read
Hmm.
news at all,
Yeah.
because you can get kind of a different slant on things from the BBC that you're not going to get in United States news.
Hmm. And it's like, uh, Monty, it could be that I'd be going, "Hello, mate. It's cup of tea time." And no, I'm not going to do that. And that was horrible. I'm sorry.
It was that was awful.
Oh my God, it was the
That's
worst
almost as
impression
bad
ever.
as Storm's English accent.
It was so bad. Tell me how bad it was, Monty. Was that any kind of Cockney? I don't even know.
Ooh, yuckers, pew. Almost as bad as me trying to pick up the southern accent. I've got a little bit from Ohio, but it's soft. It is.
Well, I just got smacked down. Very Dick Van Dyke.
Very Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah,
Oh, you've been
very.
told.
Okay, yeah, it was the worst. It was the worst ever. I'm sorry. But
Awesome, Monty. Go for it.
Bronklander RC, welcome back to the panel. The only recourse seems to be the court of public opinion. There seems to be a great need among these people for permission. I agree, and
There is.
they want to. It's like a hearts and minds campaign. They want to get people on their side,
Mhm.
and yeah, I agree.
Well, so listen, doesn't that line sound appealing? Doesn't that make your heart go pity pat?
Yeah, and
And I might
I'm like,
even believe it if I wasn't such a skeptic. I was born at night, it just wasn't last.
hmm. I'm wondering because I have Amazon Prime, and I'm thinking maybe BBC is on Amazon Prime because that's how
I don't know.
I have to check it out. I'm gonna look, and I'll
Well,
let you
you know
know.
what?
Hmm.
I have Amazon Prime. I'll have Storm Quick Look, okay?
Okay, because it's messing me up.
Hey
I
Storm.
can feel it.
Uh, Amazon Prime, does it carry BBC? Yeah, just BBC. Yeah. Storm saying certain shows are carried from
Well,
the
thank you for the
BBC, but
Monty.
not
Thank you for the link. Opera. Ooh, I got opera. Yeah,
but
I can
yeah,
do the
I know
BBC.
nothing with that one. VPN built in. Ooh.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't work great, but it does like change your location so you can have access to stuff.
Right.
It's not
Well,
private, but
there's certain things in the UK you can see if you're in UK.
hmm.
And certain things in the United States, if you say you're in the United States, they're not gonna let you see it. That little information jam they like so much.
Yeah. And propaganda, they want people to think what they want people to think. And
Obviously.
oh, you know what? Speaking of propaganda and other places, y'all know I go to the Legion, and I went to the Legion last night, and there was this lady there who had lived in Europe for a
Hmm.
little. I lived in Europe for a little while, and she was remarking on the way the food is over there. It is so different over there.
Oh
Over
yeah.
here, she had problems with sugar and gluten and the things that you hear about in pop culture. Over there, no problems. She ate all the bread, ate all the desserts, didn't have any problem.
They have they have
And
a whole different system of of food operation and what's acceptable and what is not. United
yeah, and
States is one of the worst offenders of chemicals in their
Yeah.
food.
Uh, and I do not like I it is so hard to find anything that is not messed with. And like even I bought a bag of apples and it's got this weird now I'm used to apples having like a little bit of wax on them, but this is like a wax meant to seal it up. I'm like, what
Right,
is going on?
right.
And yeah, you're absolutely right, especially with the
Yeah,
it's not this
I
show,
agree
but
with you,
yeah.
called USDA, the Food and Drug Administration. But the USDA is the Department of Agriculture.
hmm And a lot of ingredients, you're absolutely right. Like all those food colorings, the red and the yellow, and
Well,
some crazy
God,
stuff.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't have cared about it personally, except that I got a kid who is extraordinarily allergic to red food coloring, red dyes, and certain kinds of purple dye, which
Yeah,
of course may have red dye in it. And it's not the usual kind of allergy. It literally drove him bonkers. Had to pry him off the ceiling, and I'm not kidding. He was just that wound up and ra- raring to go. Had a teacher at school try to force him to take a pill. I don't know what it would have been, but it was pink, and he knew that pink would drive him nuts. And he goes, "No, I'm not taking nothing like that, not without my ma." So he called me. Said, "They're trying to make me take medication." I said, and I would hit from 0 to 1,000 in 2 seconds flat. No, the next thing they heard was my tires screeching.
yeah,
But you know, it's but that happens in schools. They don't care about kids' allergies. They care about getting them in line and making them learn how to obey.
yeah, yeah, and
That was a lost cause from age 2 with mine. You know.
yeah, and okay, everybody just coming in. I'm winding myself down from being upset about the World Economic Forum getting involved in Gobekli Tepe archaeology. They shouldn't be there. They should not. I'm winding my. That's why we're talking about food stuff in Europe and this and that. And
Yeah, because
I
I
have
know
to.
that'll calm him down.
Yeah, I have to. I was talking anarchy stuff in the first hour because it upsets me so much. And
Right, your own TOS is gonna get you hung if you're not careful.
yeah, I was like, what is why is this bothering me so much? And I still don't really know, but it's one that's why it's one of them quantum things, right? It's like something to do. I'm hoping Keith comes on because I can ask him, does he
Well,
know
you
anything about
can't
it?
ask for Keith tonight. He is
What
he's messed up, and he's got a vertigo problem, I think. And
okay.
his tech is right down the commode because of it, because he's upset about it.
Oh, well,
He's like you, can mess up a computer just by being mad at it.
right. Well, I hope he gets better. Keith,
Yeah.
shout out to you. I sent him a message. I hadn't heard from him and I didn't know what was going on. And
Yeah,
Aussie
we
has a
put your show on there, but we had to bow out early.
okay. Aussie has a very distracting and good welcome question.
When
Not
you find out, Aussie, call me.
you know what I use?
Call me.
I use the conditioner that I use, okay, and I
Sorry.
got yeah, the conditioner I use has coconut oil in it. So, coconut oil is a lubricant and it sticks around, it sticks to the follicles real good, so it helps. And, uh, yeah, coconut oil. Try something with coconut oil
BioSoap.
or straight up coconut oil, you
Yeah.
know,
But
either in
if you're not crazy about the chemical stuff, BioSoap does a good job of it. I use it damn seldom, but
what is
I
it called?
sometimes wake up with a rat's nest.
What did you call it?
BioSoap. BioSoap.
Bios
Silk. Bio
Hmm.
Silk. Biosilk. And it is a leave-in hair conditioner that is
Okay.
pretty good. It's pretty good. I got some junk on Timu that actually works. Surprised the hell out of me. And that's a leave-in conditioner that's from hell. That stuff. That works too, man. I can't keep a comb in my hair.
Okay. There you go, Aussie. I hope that helps. BioSilk, or try my thing. I
I
use
don't know if they would sell it in Australia, but they've got a couple of good ones in Timu, and I know Timu sells to Australia. Those guys, I'll tell you what, talk about taking over the United States by storm. Those fellas have figured it out.
Christine. There is no two-in-one that works well. You got to use. I've tried. I've
I
tried.
can't.
I've had long hair forever, right? And I use whatever shampoo I need to use for medicinal whatever, and then I use some fancy conditioner. I'm talking like the $15, $20 bottle stuff. People are laughing. I can hear them. I can hear them laughing. $15 a bottle for conditioner. Poo poo. You need to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the.
I know. It's when you find something that works, money be damned.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, seriously, it's getting to a place that when something actually works, you use it. I know that the Aussie products, what do they call it? Aussie
Aussie.
Miracle Curls.
Aussie.
Aussie, no kidding. Aussie Miracle Curls. That actually works on my hair too. And I have kinky woolly hair. I'm gonna tell you that. It's the kind of hair that when you're done washing it, it turns into poof. You know, it takes me a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't fry it, and I can use the different stuff to take care of it. And no, I'm not sponsored. Please, if they would sponsor me, I'd want at least $20 an hour.
But yeah, going back to Gobekli Tepe. Now that I'm calm,
See, we calm, we got it under control.
I'm
No,
calm,
not a chance in hell. Okay.
and it's boiling underneath.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this though. Things that hit that nerve are the same things that hit it with us, with Atlantis. Are the
Yeah.
same things that hit it with Lemuria. And when we talk about some of those things, there's a certain nerve there, and these guys have hit it. There is something about that area that is right in line with it. And the other thing is, those pyramids in Egypt are on a direct line with the pyramids that are located in South America, those in China, and those in India, and of course in Sumer, the ziggurats in Sumer. Right on line. Funny thing, that. Almost as though somebody meant for that to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up a reference to this,
That's right.
and
You're absolutely right. I'm cold. They are in line. The main pyramids in Egypt are in line with Orion's belt to the degree, and you're absolutely correct. And yet, those of us who pointed that out before they studied it were poo-pooed into the ground.
I
Not
was
a chance in hell of that being on.
I need a better reference picture. I'm getting a reference picture.
The
Uh,
World
uh,
Trade Centers were also aligned to perfectly to Orion's belt. Yeah, most people don't know that. It's true. It's an interesting thing. And it's interesting that anything that is seems anathema,
Hmm.
and counter to certain religions in the world.
Found it.
They can't have that, even though they might know that it's absolutely true. It's a shame when zealotry uh, refuses to see the truth of anything else but itself. Yeah, there you go. Interesting little line there, isn't it? It looks
Very interesting.
it looks like a heartbeat.
Yeah,
The
you
waves,
could
the
say that.
electrical waves. Mhm.
You could say that. And it also, now, this is an interesting pattern to take on because look at what it also has horizontal lines going straight across. Now, what's that up there in the Pacific Southwest? Let me just, you know what? Let me do it this way instead.
It's one of the upper
Let me,
waves.
yeah. Hold up,
And
hold up.
interesting enough, many of those are in direct line with certain supervolcanoes.
Yep. And let me bring up.
Funny thing that.
Mhm. This is not what I was wanting to do.
Well, not if I'm cold. There's symbolism everywhere if you look. Yes, not just if you know to look, but you're not afraid to look.
Now I have the picture ready to go. Now, let me draw your attention to what are all that. Can, hopefully, everyone can see. Now, going up at the top left, from left to right, we have this Pacific Northwest outside. Now, y'all, this is near Russia, and this is Alaska up here.
Hmm.
What's going on over here? We should look there. We should look there, right?
We probably
And
should, yes.
and if you're looking over Nemaskal, that's Canada, and then
Right.
straight across Stonehenge,
I can't think of the province that's in Canada, but it's up above Quebec.
right? It's up there, and then well, I'm sure someone has looked. I just haven't. This is a where we went right now, right?
Hmm.
Stonehenge directly east,
Exactly.
straight line east, and then Turgai. I'm not really sure what that looks like. Russia. Okay, that looks like Russia. And by the way,
I can't really see where uh, it goes on into that green line in Russia.
right, it says Turgai, but I don't know.
Then you flop over, and it's in China,
Hmm.
Mongolia, and the high north of Japan.
Yep, and look at these question marks that we have down here in the oceans, right? We
Hmm.
should look there.
That's
We
what I
should
was
look over
thinking.
there. And any Aussies, what is Ayers Rock or Ayers Rock? I would
Ayers
like to
Rock.
know.
That's one of their main rocks. It I not I wouldn't say monument, but it has more significance than that.
Okay, Aussie
That's very
people.
much a tourist uh, destination if they know where it's there.
Okay, Aussie people, come talk to us, right? And then look out in the ocean. You got what's there? I want to know what's there. Out in the ocean again. What's there? And then over here, Crusoe Island. Cru Okay, Jacques Cousteau and Crusoe, right? Forget Jacques
Crusoe.
Cousteau.
Yeah, Crusoe
Crusoe
Island
Island.
was named after the Robinson Crusoe bunch
Okay,
during Ayers Rock in the Northern Territory and in the middle of Australia.
okay.
Now, Ayers Rock, Aussie, is that a monument of some sort?
Is there something there? What's there?
I know it's something interesting to see. I do know that. And that is the length and breadth of my Australian abilities, folks.
And
It's a huge
it's
natural
a
rock.
huge natural rock. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I
Okay.
bet that it's going to be like a Mount Shasta thing going
That's
on.
what I'm thinking.
And I was looking at this map just on my own, and Mount Shasta here is saying that it's in Mexico. It's not in Mexico, it's in California. So this
Hmm.
map might not be pinpoint like it wants to be. Yeah, I was just looking at it off screen. So, but the lines are there, and that was just off the top of my head.
We actually do not know of the rock, so if you got something more to share, we would love to hear it, Monty.
What am I looking at here? Oh boy, here we go. Oh, please make. Okay, it's gonna cooperate this time. Let me go ahead and
I
bring
don't
this
know.
one up.
Does Australians know of Grand Canyon in the United States? Because that's quite that's the place to go here. Curious
This is
alignments.
this is quite interesting to look at right here. And this is just off the top of my Google search, right? And Monty, no, we do not. Well, not like the eyebrow raise, and I'm not sure. And that's not how you spell it, but thank you for the reply.
All Uruhu now. All
Yeah,
Uru. All Uru.
Uluru, Uluru sounds hard to
Uluru.
say.
There you go, Uluru. Yeah, we can do it.
These
Just
are
give it
curious
a minute.
alignments. That's the thing about
Geomon.
geography and stuff like that. It's numbers, and numbers line up. Base
Hmm.
3, base 6, base 5, base 10, they all line up in patterns. And
It's
that's
interesting. Three is known as a sacred number. Seven is also, but three is body, soul, spirit. But three is part of human religion, human spirituality, human human governing. In almost every case, you know, it just one of those things. Humans like balance, and I think that is very indicative of it.
no, I mean look at
Holy
humans.
Trinity, yes, of course.
Yeah, look at humans and look at bugs. They like it too. Look at specifically bees.
Hmm.
I love bees.
Bees
I just
have
love
the
bees, everybody.
pattern of five, if I'm thinking right, five or
Mhm.
six,
It's 5.
and five again, balance. Two on one side, two on the other, and one in the middle. Sacred
Yeah.
geometry. Yeah,
Right.
sacred
And
ground of the Aborigines. Right, that makes sense.
yeah, I think, are you talking about the rock?
Yes,
Uluru? Okay. Yeah, unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree, Tim. Welcome back to the show, Tim. Thank you for coming here, man. I've been listening to your music, dude. I've been listening to your stuff. It's been calming my inner turmoil.
Your inner beast, huh?
The inner beast.
Well, we all have one.
The beast is tumultuous, and I do my best to calm myself, but you saw me first hour. I was like, ah,
Pissed.
I was getting angry because it pushed those buttons that I got. The same Atlantis buttons. And yeah, Tim, your link lives at my show. Every description. I hope. I think it's
No,
over there.
psychologically, um, and I've seen this back and forth, especially regarding Atlantis. It's like I mentioned in other shows. You look at the clock at 20 after or 20 till. Anybody who has any kind of relationship to Atlantis stops at those two times. Don't know why. I think that's when the disaster happened. Yeah, there you go. 33-degree parallel. You're right. Yeah, actually, I do know that. I'm about 100 miles north. I'm sorry, 100 miles southwest of there. And actually, a little bit further, about 150 from Trinity, Bob's site. Haven't been there. Find no inclination to do it. You have no sound.
Whoops, I have a button. But I made sure DJ Wardove is in the description. Hell yeah. And yeah, I've been there. It's not.
It's really nothing to it particularly,
I
other than the small museum.
Well, yeah, there's a small museum and there's a site where they show the casing that was left. It was set on top of a tower,
Yeah.
and there was a piece of casing left, and it doesn't look like anything we have could do this, but it did, and it's ugh.
It's interesting, that first segment of the Indiana Jones and Last not Last Crusader. The oh heck, the one with the crystal skulls.
And Indiana Jones, a Crystal Skull.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. In the first part of that movie, you show him in a small town with all mannequins and all set up basically like any 1950s town, except that it's ground zero, and it's there
Right.
to test to see how badly a neighborhood would actually fare during one of these attacks. And that he climbed into a lead lined refrigerator that got
Right.
blown clear across God's God's kingdom. Who knows how far? You know, that's actually fairly accurate.
They made it look so much fun.
Who did though? Man, I wouldn't even guess how bad my bones would look after something like that.
Yeah, and Cold is saying whole Trinity nuclear bomb thing goes right. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I was here. I got a funny story. I when I went there,
Hmm.
they have they scraped up all the green glass from the fusion of the bomb, right? It exploded, it got super hot, it made all the sand, it fused it. And it was this weird green glass. Well, it's nuclear and it's nuclear and it's radioactive.
Right.
Not so much so that you're gonna like start falling apart in a minute, but here's what I did, right? I went to that site and they have a big boarded off section. To block the radiation, all it takes is like a piece of plexiglass. It's not strong, not super strong. So I was walking around and it's still out in the desert and there's a lot of wind and these everything's been pummeled and it's breaking the glass up, and it took years to clean that site up. Well, they didn't get it all. I found a piece, a tiny little piece about yay big, not big, like in metric speak, what we're talking like 1.2 centimeters or something, you know,
Barely the tip of a
a
fingernail.
pebble. I found a
Yeah.
pebble, and it was I put it in the here's what I did. I put it in one of these, right, and put it
Mhm.
in a cardboard box. Well, I'll never use that again. And I put it in a cardboard box, and I had a lockbox that I just kept stuff in. That it was surplus military metal box, right? So I put it in there, and of course, it blocked all any radiation. But let me tell y'all, I had this box for like 4 years in a closet. When I opened it up, the cardboard box that I had that cellophane in, the cellophane disintegrated like it was 100 years old. The box looked like it was 100 years old. It was from a car part. It was not 100 years old. The box started to disintegrate like it was 100 years old, and I just I was like looking at the stuff, and I was like, this box is full of knickknack stuff. I would have liked to keep it. Now it was all irradiated. I shut it and I threw it away. Threw the whole thing away. Right. I
Yeah,
just
you
was like,
don't know what that might have been doing to you. I mean, it was
yeah,
a little teeny piece, but a little teeny piece is plenty.
it radiated the inside of that box, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
at one point, somebody had a Geiger counter, and I got it near it, and they were like, "Why is this thing going off?" I didn't tell them. I just went
Uh,
away.
real quick here, Monty. According to my belief system, I have to ask, but would you allow us to send positive vibes to you and perhaps ask at our circle for you?
Yeah, sorry to hear that, Monty. And I,
We have to have permission. That's all. You know, it's a
I'll put you in.
formality, but we're very close.
Yeah, and I'll put you on my crystal network, dude.
Absolutely,
So
Monty.
yes, yes,
Yes,
permission
I
is
do
given.
want to. You've been an integral part of our show, and we really appreciate you.
Yeah, you've
We
been.
don't like to see anybody suffer.
Yeah, he's founding member. That's how he got his wrench.
Hmm.
Founding member. He came from my other group. Well, it wasn't even my group.
Much love to you, Monty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Woo. Glad to see you. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. And
Happy Father's Day, everyone.
yeah, mine's been gone now for about 15 years. And yours more recently, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Little over a year.
So, those who made a big difference and to those who didn't really, but still their day.
Yep. Look
Yeah.
particularly at the one where they thought the oceans would ignite. That was an
Mm.
interesting thought back in the day.
No, and something else that I'm going to bring up on that same topic of the green glass. They found the same kind of green glass in the Sahara Desert, near where they think Atlantis or an Atlantis offshoot might have been. They're in the northwest corner of Africa.
Yeah,
So,
the Eye of the
they
Sahara.
found a copious amount of green glass, didn't know where it came from, and the thought process is possibly from that disaster.
Libyan desert glass. And
Something
okay.
like that. I think it's in the Sahara, up closer
Yeah.
to the to the to the ocean.
I found a how okay, I'm going to read this before I put it up there. How we solved the mystery of Libyan desert glass. Now, now this is from 2019. I'm going to read this. Keep going. Um, well, this is an interesting article anyway.
That's interesting, Cold. I wasn't necessarily privy to this, but Jack Parsons, Aleister Crowley, Ron Hubbard, Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, I definitely know was. Ron Hubbard, I do not know that. I don't know the Aleister Crowley or Jack Parsons, and I don't doubt it, but I didn't know that.
They did. They did. They sure did. They
Did
sure
they?
did. I read about it, and they sure did. They all had something to do with Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons. Everybody's like, "Who are these guys?" There was a
Yeah,
a
interesting
secret.
that they should be involved.
Yeah, secret knowledge was part of the research.
Yes.
The mystery schools were part of the research of the nuclear bombing. It was when you read it, it doesn't even sound like history. It sounds like science fiction. It sounds like
Yeah.
science fantasy is what it sounds like. Cause yeah, it's like what? Just like Joe has a story about this.
Mhm.
Had the scientists were coming to his witchcraft people talking about why is this happening?
Right.
That there's a
People that
link.
were pagan at the time, and you have to remember, and a lot of our viewership is on the young side,
Hmm.
but there wasn't Google, there wasn't Wikipedia, it wasn't anything like that, and it often wasn't in the encyclopedia either. You had to go to the source to get the information, which is probably why these people were involved. And Aleister Crowley would have been the end all, him and Raymond Buckland.
Okay. I'm updating the description. It'll be done afterwards. Talking about the desert glass. It was a meteor. There was a meteor. And
Okay.
that's what they're talking about. 1600 degrees, 29 million years ago. Pure silica.
Yeah. Well, sand and heat make glass.
Hmm. High pressure damage showing glass formed during meteorite impact.
I don't know. That sounds a bit far fetched, Cold. You're right, but uh, I am more inclined to think with somebody like Crowley. Uh, was more interested in the obliteration of a soul, how much that would have happened.
Yeah, that's not in our power.
No,
It
it's
just
not.
isn't.
We know that now, but they didn't then.
Yeah, they just don't know. And well, yeah, they want to, but it's not in our reality. Really, I mean, I'm calm. I'm very
Well,
calm.
when
Mhm.
much of this stuff was being discussed, they had come to the idea that they needed to end the war sooner, and how to do that. And the only way they could think of was to become so bad that the enemy just had to capitulate. When Japan was bombed in that way, Germany realized they were next and that the Allied forces wouldn't hesitate to do it. So, that's when they decided that maybe they should say that's enough, you know. And they're right. If there's another war of this sort happen again, um, it may not kill us all, but the next war after that will be fought with sticks and stones.
Yeah, to paraphrase Einstein.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. They have found plants and things in the Sahara millions of years old because it is so dry and the sand insulates. I
Right.
watched a thing on TV one time, actual documentary, where they went over the Sahara Desert and it was like there was a windstorm, not a big one, but a windstorm, and they went out and there was a tuft of grass in the middle of the desert. It's like, what? It was millions of years old. It had been insulated, and there was a rat nest in there, and they found natural stuff, right? And they cataloged it, and what do? You can't take it with you. I mean, it's a piece of ground, a big chunk
Life
of
will
ground.
prevail. Oh.
Yeah. Up 35 million, sorry. Millions of years old.
Yeah, they knew
Hey,
about the
nerd.
drums, nerd. They
Welcome
knew
back to
about
the
it.
show. They
We
saw
had
it
lots of
happen.
spies. They saw it happen afterwards too, and
Yeah, and
said,
they
"Oh
were like
hell no."
we don't want none of that. And
Yeah.
it kind of goes back to my idea of you don't want your cows to be obliterated or messed with by the neighbors so much that you don't have cows left. And that
Yes, and they knew about it, nerd. You can bet on it. That was our whole point.
yeah, they knew they surrendered months before. However, they knew it was in the works. And
Oh,
yeah, there
absolutely.
was some I mean,
They had it in the works too,
it
and
it yeah, it contributed to the decision-making process. I'll just
yeah,
say that.
it did. They were working on the very same project.
Yeah.
We
And
happened to get there ahead of them.
okay, let me go ahead and I'm going to grab that link that you just gave and I'm going to look at it.
You know. Now on the score of fossils, in my possession, I have a piece of petrified wood, and it is stone. It's absolutely petrified, and a couple of a wasp's nest and a honeycomb. How about that? Consider it some of the best luck I've ever had.
These are really great pictures. I'm going to bring this up. These are awesome to me who or however I don't know how you say it.
Aeon of Horus, occult history of NASA. Interesting. Is
I'll
that the
check
one
it
you're
out.
referring to?
I will look at that, but no, I'm referring to what Monty has posted. I'm going
Oh,
to
okay.
I want to put it up on the screen so it's there forever because the chat all that.
Yeah.
And let's see here. I will go ahead and show this is this is great. This is definitely great. And that link will be in the description also. Thank you for that link. How we got here? We just ended up here. Broken pieces of fossilized feet, tree trunks, GPS location. It's in Egypt or in the Sahara Desert. Saharan fossilized forest.
How about that? Well, it's well known that the Sahara had been uh, lush and green and beautiful, and something happened, and probably this meteor that we're just had talked about uh, changed all that. We think of Egypt as sandy and dust, but when those pyramids were built, it was lush.
Yep.
There
Okay.
was
Oh,
water there.
wow. Among the largest fossilized forests to be found in the world so far are Arizona's Petrified Forest National Park in America and the Petrified Forest of Lesbos in Greece. Cool.
Hmm.
That's the last thing it said. So I'm going to stop sharing that. And
I got a story on that one. Storm has a friend who's from the island of Lesbos. Lesbos calls himself a lesbian.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's quite the character.
Yeah,
Oh,
nerd
I
is
have no doubt it keep Russia in check too.
yeah,
You're right, nerd.
nerds talking about Berlin being occupied is why they surrendered. There is still information and stories coming out about World War II that
Yeah,
Operation
and
like
we won't know
Valkyrie.
everything about the uh the the little ins and outs of that.
Right. It's going to
This
be
is still being uncovered.
no, and you know who's going to know all of it? The next people. They're going to find all the information about us when we're
Mm,
gone
maybe
because
they'll know.
and maybe they'll keep it secret from their people.
Could
I don't
be.
know. Oh man.
It's pretty
Okay.
horrendous, some of it, of course. And of
Yeah.
course, war is hell no matter what side you're
Yeah,
on.
and the Germans were fanatics.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm so glad we got so
Well, they were
distracted from
zealots,
yeah, oh yeah.
fanatical zealots.
Yeah, and you know, oh man, I'm not even going there right now.
Yeah, we could, couldn't we?
Yeah,
Let's
I'm not
don't
gonna
do it.
I can't go
Let's
there
don't do
right
it to
now.
ourselves.
Now, right now we're talking about the let's let the World Economic Forum be the bad guys of this show, yeah. They want us looking for lizard people so we don't look at them.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yep.
Um, whether there are or not, I've never personally. Well, I can't say I didn't see one, but I saw something that was strange enough, and that was the in the grocery store. That lady looked at me and pretty much warned me off, me and Storm,
Yeah.
and she was not normal. She was not natural. She was not human.
Right. They're there and they are I don't know why they mingle, but they do. But it seems like I'll go back to my theory. We are the weird, strange, endangered species that they want to study and get to know, and that's one way that we do it with animals. They do that with us.
Yeah, I mean, any thinking individual would stay the hell out of a lion's den, but human beings are fools and go in the middle of it.
Yeah, but they take
So,
okay, but they take precautions. They do
well, and
things
I'm
like
sure they do too.
yeah,
You know.
right, right. The duck blind idea
Mhm.
and the mixing in society. Because look at every great science fiction; it always starts out with a bizarre. There's some kind of marketplace, and that's like one of our. That's what we do. It's one of our things, and they do it too. So they want to go to the Earth market, the Earth markets.
I think that might be true. I think that might be it exactly. I mean, uh, in the old times, I mean, we had when you wanted to go shopping and went to the market, and there was a market on a certain day in every town. It's usually on a Saturday morning. The farmers would gather up what they had extra, sell it at market, whether it was eggs, a slab of bacon, or what have you, maybe a dress that they had made and wanted to sell.
We're not
You
over
know,
yet. Yeah, it's
we
not over
still
yet,
do it.
Renee. We still got about 40 minutes to go. And yeah, you're right. We still do it. Renee's saying this has been a great show, Nathan. Everyone have a great Father's Day. Well, thank you, but we're not done yet.
No, not hardly.
It's just I wish people had showed up, but
You
hey,
know,
people got things to do.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
And
and
Father's Day isn't such a celebration for all of us, you know.
yeah,
So many of us are. It's a day of mourning for some of us,
yeah.
you know.
So
So it's just one of those things. We remember that when you're getting into my age and some of us that are older, we remember the old days when we'd have a family reunion and best food in the world. Then we'll never taste it again. That's a hard memory.
hmm, and uh I gotta do this.
What
I'll
are
be
you
back.
doing? Oh
I'll
my
be back.
God, he's leaving me alone. I am not responsible.
Okay.
You should know better than this.
Watch for ghosts.
We'll watch for ghosts. Hi, Bronklander. Glad to see you. Very happy to see you back tonight. Renee, it's good to see you. Monty, of course. And you're right. Libya was a food source for Roman Empire. They were a breadbasket of sorts. Nerd. I'm cold. Let's see here. All the different ones are back and forth. Blue Rider, and Diane, of course, and Tim. Definitely glad to see all of you tonight. Take a little time out. Chris. Well, I think I got everybody. Aussie Tiger, of course. Definitely glad to see you guys. We rely on your support to keep doing this show. It's you being here is why we're here. Absolutely, wouldn't be here without you. That's for sure. That Joe is probably experiencing some of those brownouts that El Paso is having. We have been experiencing anything from 105 to 115 heat here in New Mexico, West Texas area. And it's been quite the scorcher. So, anybody got anything really good going on? I'd love to hear it. AFK a lot tonight? I don't know what that means. So, anyway, I am not good at synonyms, guys. I'm really not. And I'm not good at initials of things, which is annoying, but I'm not. Took me a long time to say BRB. Just be right back, didn't know that. Oh, away from keyboard. Thank you, Tim. Nice and warm is not the word, Aussie. Hellacious hot is the word. And brownouts here are going on because it is so hot that they're having trouble keeping up the electrical needs. That's a good bit of it. Oh, that was good luck, Monty. That was very good. I'm not going to repeat that on here. That's not for posterity. You bought some good audio. Awesome. Yeah, you're right. It can be very limiting. Even in here, we have certain term of service that it's a contract of sorts with YouTube and also with StreamYard. We have certain things that we can and cannot do, and uh, we might bend it a bit, but we cannot break it. And if we do, I mean, we could lose our show. We don't want that for you or for us. So we have to keep things a bit on the stuffy side at times. Of course, it being late here can get away with a little bit more than when. Oh, that's nice, Monty. That's really nice. You did good on that one, Monty. Looking at Bronklander's statement about the different things that he's acquiring. And I'll be honest with you guys, if it's tech, it's Storm. Storm's my go-to guy because he's that has been his deal. He's been at the tech side of things for about I want to say 45 years. You know, it's been a good long time, and he actually speaks DOS. He knows how to talk to computers. So he's one of the originals. Cold and thunderstorm. Oh yes, send that to me, baby. I would love to see a good thunderstorm here, and I think we will here shortly. We have a thing here called monsoon, and it comes along about this time of year. And there's Nathan.
Okie doke. I'm back.
Monty scored. Monty scored big.
Oh,
Oh
let
boy.
me look. Monty.
Yeah, I am jealous. A
What happened
victorious
there?
sovereign.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Renee
Victoria
Andrews is
Sovereign.
scoring good too with the rain. I'm envious of
Nice.
that one. It is so damn hot here that I can literally go outside. In fact, I'm tempted to go out and cook on the concrete outside just to show you that it can be done here. It's that hot. The only problem with that is I'd cook along with it, and I'm not in for
Yeah.
that.
So Bronk is working on his audio setup. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
Audio video setup. That's awesome. Would
Guy,
still
that's
like
just
to have you
going
on here. Yeah, would still like to have you on here.
well, absolutely.
And okay, yeah. Uh just catching up on the chat while I was away. Yeah, yeah.
Things like
Link
that,
below.
always fun.
And
I
some of
have
it
one of the original $2 bills that was issued in 1976, I believe,
nice.
and I still have that. I'm have never really coin collected. I have some of the Susie B's. Of course, those got picked up in darn quick hurry.
Yeah, I've tried to do coins, but I just don't have the patience for it. Like I took some silver quarters and traded it to a guy for exact change because I'm not a collector. I was in no way able to use them to maximize profit because they were like worth
Right.
$3 or $4 each. But I was
Right.
like, you know what? I don't need to have to go to a store and they all require you to do all this jumping through hoops. So just give me
Right.
exact change. I need money more than I need antique coins.
Right. Didn't really want to send them to somebody who didn't know their worth.
Right. And the guy actually thought I was trying to pull a scam on him. I'm like, no,
No.
bro. I'm not trying to do
No.
a scam. I'm just trying to like not die over here and pay
Yeah.
bills and stuff.
It's funny. The Storm did managing in a convenience store for a time, and every time he got coin stuff that he could see darn well was a collection, he'd call the cops because it definitely was something stolen.
Hmm.
Very few people will break into a coin collection to buy a pack of cigarettes,
Yeah.
particularly when they're 18 years old.
Yeah, I when I was working when I was working at the gas station,
Mhm.
some guy came up with a silver note, $10 bill. And I was
Oh
like,
my.
"Hey man, are you sure you want to spend this?" He goes, "Yeah, why?" It was very defensive. I was like, "Okay," and it was for tobacco products. And I'm like, he was not an 18-year-old kid. It didn't
No.
look like he stole anything. And so I traded out. I kept it, right? I kept that particular 10. And it turns out it was worth about $12 in the shape that it was in because it had been folded and it looked like it had water damage and lots of stuff went into it. So it was neat because it was interesting and it was a shame to spend it, but apparently he needed the money more than he needed antique items. And I get it. So I was like, "Are you sure you want to spend this?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, you got it. Here you go." And I honored it. And then I put
Mhm.
my 10 in and swapped it out. I don't even
Oh
care.
yeah, no, Storm did that quite a bit. I was a bank teller for a couple of years, and a guy came in with a jar of money that had been buried in his backyard for
Ooh.
about 60 years. Silver notes, silver coins, the whole enchilada. And I got the joy of taking that out. Oh my God, what a smell. But, and the worst of it is, the notes, most people don't realize that the notes now are treated with an antibacterial,
Hmm.
antifungal. The old notes weren't, and they were subject to uh, bacteria, dirt, garbage, germs. And I didn't have gloves, and I got an infection on my hand. It was something else to try to get rid of.
Oh boy, what the hell could that have been?
Oh my God, who knows? What the doctor told me it was a fungal infection. How in the hell had I gotten it? Because it wasn't usual. And I told him how, and he goes, "My God." He goes, "What did you guys do with that money?" And I said, "Well, it was sent back to the treasury because it was very old. It was out of circulation, much of it, and that's what they did with it." And he goes, "That stuff's toxic." I said, "No, you think?" But it took me weeks to get over that.
Jeez, I bet.
Yeah, so when somebody says, "Oh, I found a big jar of money in my backyard," I'm like, "No," you know.
Yeah, there was a coin that I saw that I'm looking for it right now. It seemed to be from an alternate timeline. It could have been fake, but I don't know. And I'm trying to look at it, trying to look
Well,
for it.
they make specialty coins. What they do is restamp them. You
Right,
know,
but
you'll see stuff like that.
this had like the date was in the wrong format, and it was like dot something. And I was like, what is that all about? And it's some. I heard about it through the mud flood stuff,
Huh?
and I don't really subscribe to the mud flood idea so much as
Mud flood? I'm
right.
not
It's
so
so
sure what that is.
I'm pretty sure most of it's not real, but there. You know what?
Yeah,
Let me
old
just bring up.
Canadian money was made of hemp, and United States money was too, as well as linen, which is why it doesn't. It will tear, but it doesn't tear easily.
It's all about Tartaria. Again, I don't think all of it's real. It's very TikToky, and
Mm.
let me
You think
talk
we
about
even
ancient
should
world stuff,
should
huh?
repeat it if you don't feel it's got any basis in fact?
No, I think it's like a misinterpretation of what we're looking at. You know, buildings with. I will show a picture. You know, let me just do this way. I have to now. If you understand how people build stuff, even now you'll understand what's going on. But to the uneducated, it looks like we covered up a whole civilization to build ours on top. We didn't. Okay.
No. We kind of sort of did. This country was very much populated when it was found, and they had cities and they had towns. And well, one of them was what there in St. Louis, Kansas City, was one of the larger hubs of Native Americans. But
Some of that
it's
did, but yeah, I get that, but not
yeah,
this, right?
no,
Let me
not what they're
show.
saying. A whole big civilization. No,
Yeah,
that
not
these
this.
were more. country towns, that sort of thing.
Yeah, this is not. It's a misinterpretation. It's building practices. This building was built in the 30s, 40s, and
Hmm.
okay, it happened in El Paso, right? But they fixed it. What happened in El Paso was, uh, here's the deal, right? Bronklander. It's right, Tartaria and the mud flood and all this stuff. TikTok has gone crazy with it, and it's not true, right?
Right.
And uh,
Well, that was a common practice. Rome is built on top of the smaller town. So is there's Paris is a Roman town and built on top, but
right,
not like this, not like what you're saying.
right. No, what they are misinterpreting, right, is what happened in El Paso was a guy. Now, this comes from the vintage computer side of things, right?
Mhm.
That I'm kind of into. A guy came out with some old computers for sale. He said they were found in a warehouse in El Paso where they had a place. And what happened was the city wanted money to tear this thing down. And you have to have permits and all this stuff. So it was cheaper just to keep the lights on and keep the insurance paid for 40 years than it was to tear it down all at once. So, but they're fixing that. They're stopping that because they just it's a capitalism fail
Oh,
where
hi, Raven.
hey Raven, yeah, great. You have the link. We're talking Gobekli
Hi.
Tepe, and you were right. You were here for the first hour. What about Cahokia? What about it? I want to know what you're talking about.
About
Come
what?
on, Cahokia, Illinois, about 5 miles from her. Come and talk about it. I want to hear what you got to say. And Bronklander saying Tartaria was in Russia. Yeah, it was. Tartaria was real, but it's been misinterpreted so bad by the TikTok people. Do we still have TikTok? Is this still
Well, I'm a
working?
little confused. What has been misinterpreted precisely?
Okay, first of all, I'm glad you don't know about it because it is such BS. They're
Okay.
talking about they take the World's Fairs pictures, which in themselves they're cool, they're weird, and they take all the technological things they showed at these World Fairs and all the architecture that they showed, and they said all this doesn't exist anymore, and they're all black and white pictures. And they say the mud flood took it all. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. That's not what happened. A society went a different route. And I don't agree with what happened, but that's history. I don't have to agree with it. That's the way it was. And
It's weird how these little bits. It's like a game of telephone in many respects,
mhm.
where it's passed and it's passed and it's passed until it's unrecognizable when
Right.
it reaches the original sayer. I'm looking at this picture here, and this picture very obviously, when this building was built, uh, very likely had a lower street, if you will.
Yeah. And the
And
street was built above it, and
those large
concessions were
windows,
made to
yeah,
raise up the street level.
hmm
And
those,
instead of tearing out the entire building, which appears to be a quite a large building, they built up, reinforced the bottom of it to be the new ground level to reinforce the street. What do they say? Bob's your uncle, and you
yeah.
have something that looks like a mud flood, and then they dig it out to fix a pipe or something, and they find all this stuff that they've lost the documentation for. Well, it
Well,
happened.
and see though, when they built this thing, those windows were 10 feet off of the main route. You didn't want the passerby to look into your dining room window.
Right,
You
and
didn't want them looking at your ballroom.
right, for
This
a
is a very
whole
big house.
yeah, for a bit. Well, this is not a house, this is a building, a downtown building somewhere, but just the situation of the city changed. It's not mud flood happened and we covered up a former society that we no, that's not what happened, right?
Mm.
Um,
No, that's the silliest thing I think I've heard in years.
right. Brunk, that is more on point than this picture. What you're saying is more on point than this picture is bogus. This picture is misinterpreted. I'm even gonna stop sharing it. And the mud flow was really a big slosh event. I don't 12 younger Dryas. You're talking younger Dryas, yeah.
12,000 years ago?
Younger Dryas. That's not a building that we made in the 30s.
No, and that building was obviously turn of the century, early 20s, 30s.
Right. It was
You
not
know, I mean, what are they
right.
trying to prove?
This is Gen
This is
Z.
nonsensical.
This is Gen Z.
Nonsensical.
Yeah, Gen Z stuff going on. I'm like, what? What is this? It makes great. It
The
makes
traffic and misinformation or what?
it's just I don't know. They're bored. They can't handle the reality in front of them, and they can't because the people are still involved. That they can't fix it, and I don't know. I feel bad for these kids nowadays. But come on,
I
you
don't
don't
know.
need to make stuff up.
I was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old once upon a time, and I was very concerned that there was pollution that was unreal. I mean, I remember when Pittsburgh was green, okay? I mean, the air was brown, yellow, and green, and they breathed that. I remember it quite well. And then in the 70s, we had a certain campaigns that brought a certain stop to it. It didn't end it, but it slowed it down considerably. The creation of OSHA. Oh, the devil incarnate. And yet that same governing body, if you will, prevents people from insisting that you go up on a 15 foot ladder perched on top of a truck. Okay, they say, "Oh no, you don't do that. That's stupid." And if you get hurt, guess what? Your company is dinged. That didn't exist in the 60s. So, I mean, there were certain things that were brought about during that time frame, certain women's rights, like, oh, say, Roe versus Wade, and things like that, that were a boon to society in many cases. Then that can be argued, but it was progress.
Hmm. So this is an ancient on the internet map of Tartaria, and
Huh?
if you see down here, it says India and Arabi, and you
Arabia?
see Arabia,
Yeah.
and you see different things, right?
Hmm.
India and China. Here's China, right?
Right.
And I'm pretty sure this has some accuracies in it.
Oh,
And
yeah. It's a very old one, though. It's, what would you say, 1700s perhaps? Maybe a little
maybe
bit
this is
earlier, 1600s?
I would say I don't know enough about it, right?
Hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing that for now because there are lots of maps and all of them are pretty similar.
Right.
Here's one for sale on Amazon.
Tartaria was to areas of Russia, what is now Russia, Russia, Mongolia, northern China, Siberia. You know,
Yeah, I can
And
actually
it's
share
been
the one.
named back and forth different things.
Here's the one from Amazon, and that is for sale on Amazon,
That's
right?
very. What's the
Neat.
time frame for that?
I don't know. Have no idea. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna see what's the time frame for this. That's a good question because I have Amazon. I'm gonna find out what this is. What this is. First of all, it's $100, so I won't be buying it.
Well, there you go. And
And it's a
Brocklander
print.
is saying in Russia, these old maps of Tartaria are considered curriculum in their schools, widely taught and accepted.
I believe
Well,
what you say. I want to see it. I want
I
to see
don't
it.
have a problem believing that at all because they believe
I
that.
want to see it. I want to be able to say, "Hey, look at this book I got." And look at this, and I take some pictures and I put it up on screen. I want to see it.
Yeah,
And I have a few people I can ask, maybe. Let me see here. But I'm looking at the Amazon thing right now, and it is, well, let me just show it. Why
the
not?
big thing is that maps are usually drawn by someone with an agenda, and sometimes they're out of sync, sometimes they're not.
Hey, these links, pop up things. Historic map, Tartaria, 1600, Petrus Bertius, a vintage wall art. It's a print. Look at that price, and you can buy them in all kinds, but
Oh, I'm
what
thrilled to
in the
pieces.
world? Huh?
I'm thrilled to pieces.
Man, I don't even.
Look at my lunch money going down the drain for something like that.
Yeah, what is all this stuff? Okay.
Other things you
Vintage
would want.
adds style to any room's decor with this beautiful decorative print. Whether your interior design is modern, rustic, or classic, a map is never out of fashion. Well, thank you. But I
I'm
would like to
sorry,
know.
I beg to differ. I think I'd rather have paneling on a wall than to be doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, wait a minute, I got paneling on the wall.
Yeah, I could get that printed for $10. Yep.
Okay, there you go.
Well, we're in the wrong business then.
Boy, we are, aren't we?
Yeah, those are that was for sale on Amazon to apparently not me. I'm not the crowd for that. And because 100
No,
bucks.
I got no sales over here either.
Yeah, and that's 44 by 33, so that's a pretty big one. There's another one for 240, 59 by 44. No, thank you, $240 for a map of something that
I'm
no
crazy.
one.
I'm not stupid.
I'd rather have an ancient world map that's like known. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff about Tartaria, which was a real place,
Yeah.
and that's what that's locked up in a lot of Chinese history that they won't let us look at. China is one of the ancient people, okay?
Oh
They
yeah.
really are. They have so much. Yeah,
Can I have
send
a
me a link,
shower
man.
curtain too? You gotta reduce me to West Virginia hillbilly soon.
Send me a link, dude. Mm.
Gotta have a shower curtain with that. Just that extra.
We're
Or
on there
Matthew.
forever now. Um,
Don't
but
forget the lacy bowl cover.
so forget the mud flood. It's a TikTok enigma that they like to talk about.
Oh, it's all
And
right. They have their things. We had ours. We were all
so
afraid we weren't going to see 30.
yeah, and I'm
We were
surprised.
pretty sure we weren't gonna.
Me too. I thought, man, 25 is gonna be it for me. I better live it up.
Yeah, really.
Or-
And I think that's why a lot of us really broke loose the way we did. We figured, what the hell? We're going to die before we're 30. We're going to have a good time doing it.
Bronklander is saying on here, Encyclopedia Britannica of 1771 offers the following definition of this gigantic state: plunged into the darkness of centuries. Tartaria, a huge country in northern Asia bordering Siberia. I love those old books, dude. I love those old books.
Yeah, but they were very poignant for the time. You know,
My grandmother had this thing. Okay, my mom carried on the tradition, and I need to also. My sister is. We called it. There were two of them. My mom had one. It was about this big, and we called it.
what?
It was a student handbook from the 1970s, and it was like it's like a encyclopedia. And my grandmother had this book. Okay, the book that my grandmother had was this big.
Oh,
It was
it's
that big,
amazing.
thick, thick. It was that thick, and we called that the Big Fat Book of Human Knowledge when we were kids.
Uh-huh.
It was a big book, and it was a tome. I mean, for real, it was this thick,
Yeah,
and it had the little cutouts where you could go do the reference by the
I had
alphabet.
I
I would
found
really
in
love.
we lived in a refurbished log cabin when I was a kid, and I had got up in that attic because I'm a snoop, and I got up underneath the rafters, and didn't I find a uh, a book of etiquette and natural remedies from a doctor and his wife. And that thing was 6 inches thick, no kidding, like so,
Right,
and about this big, about uh, about 9 inches across and 10 inches tall. It was huge. It had recipes for everything from easing childbirth to how to behave yourself during courtship. No kidding.
book of okay.
Yeah. Part of it was Gotti's Ladies book. And that thing had fashions in it. And I say part of it, in that same bunch of junk, now it would be worth quite a bit of money. But in that same bunch of junk, there was ladies' fashions from the turn of the 19th century. Okay, stuff that
What was it
featured
called?
Gotti's Ladies Book.
Oh boy, that's
Yeah,
getting into some stuff right here.
yeah, that's old, old, old.
Oh, you
Victorian,
should.
Edwardian.
I would look it. I'm not going to say nothing here. Look it up on Amazon.
Oh no, I
I'm
would.
not
It
going to
break
say it.
my heart. It would break my heart.
It is
It's
not. No,
gone. That thing is gone.
it is not what you're expecting at all. Ask Storm. Just put Gotti's, just like Gotti apostrophe S, right?
Yeah, Gotti's Ladies. Now, G-O-D-I,
Oh,
Gotti's. Not godly.
oh,
Gotti.
I heard
Not
G O
gaudy
T
as
T I.
in no, 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 no. Nothing like that. No. This was Gotti's Ladies Book, Victorian era, Edwardian era. And what it was a book that showed women what the latest fashions were.
Okay, well, that's not coming up over here. But there is it's the Ladies Book of Etiquette and Manual of Politeness.
Yes, there was one of those in there.
There's another book that says right beneath it, The Benevolent Society of Ill-Mannered Ladies.
Oh, yeah, that
That's one for
existed
the quantum
too.
show right there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we all think of Victorians and Edwardian as very prim and proper, like hell.
I might just get this one.
those guys, uh, man, they had their own little problems, ways of dealing with little problems too. Oh, we lost
It's a
you.
real book. I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
it's a real book.
Well, there's this one in reference. I might just
It
get
had
that
to be
one.
a Southern lady, I'll tell you.
Let me see. What does it say? What is it? What was the quote? Tired of the nonsense? Okay, well, that's that. So, and
Now, just to
I
give you a frame of reference, my grandmother was born in 1895 and wore a corset as a young woman and high boots, kid boots. So then by the time the 40s rolled around, she had gotten somewhat loosened up. I say that loosely too. And was she basically wore the fashion of the day for a widow lady, black and black dress and jet buttons a whole bit, but not
yeah,
long.
yeah. Okay, well, here we go.
And we're getting on to 2 hours, aren't we?
Yep. And
Oh, we are.
we're 4 minutes away from the 2 hour mark. And I think this was good. I was fired up first
Oh
hour.
boy.
If nobody saw it, look at some of it, right? If you weren't here for it, look at some of it.
Yeah, it was good.
And I links are in the description now for what I was referring to, and links will be later when we're done now. Uh,
Right.
Probably tomorrow. But yeah, I still got to get my clothes out of the dryer. It's doing the ghost thing,
life life must go on, and it's
right?
little dumb stuff like that, like eating, doing laundry. You know, we got to do
Yep.
them. If you're here, you're quantum.
Yes. Thank you, Aussie. If you're here, you're quantum. Yes, you're totally right.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Oh, nerd is banging out the quantum physics here. Banging us out over here. If I'm multitasking, does that mean I am in a superposition of here and not here? Yep.
are
Damn
you
right. Love it. I
are
love it.
you are you doing it both places at the same time? That's multi quantum. Love it.
Ooh. So, I remember when I was starting the show with what happened weird to you this week? Well,
Yeah,
it
I do.
the stuff is it's normal now. All this
Yeah,
stuff is normal,
it's
you
amazing
know?
what people can become accustomed to.
Yeah, like I have done the things I have oh, let me go and talk about oh, I'm jumping the tracks again. It's the down of the caffeine, right? It's the
Oh, okay.
downward slope of the caffeine.
You
And but
hitting a low blood sugar.
it's something I don't know, but it's like I start jumping in my mind from things to say, and none of them get out of the mouth.
Yeah, it
But
happens.
like things that I have normalized in the past 2 years has been like ghosts,
Yeah.
spirit speaking, seeing spirits, knowing or perceiving spirits, speaking with aliens, normal.
Sure, what the hell? Throw a load of laundry, put in a call to,
Yeah,
I don't know, BF Egypt.
crystal magic. I have no other word for it. It's crystal tech, crystal
Yeah.
networking. And then we're going on to What else? Seeing patterns, seeing through people,
Healing.
empathy, right?
Healing.
What is that? Healing
Oh yeah.
and empathy, healing, yeah, self-healing, healing others. Oh my God, the girl at the gas station. That was crazy. She said she could feel where my hand was, and I hadn't touched her. And all these things are normal. Seeing through history, seeing, and knowing, and that is really part of empathy. Really, you know how people would think, and you can kind of track why they said what they said
Yeah.
regarding something in history, right? Like to
Hmm.
the victors write
To the
the
victors from
history,
the spoils.
right? And
To
the
the victor
victors,
writes to the history.
yeah, the victor writes history from their perspective,
Yeah.
and it's it's crazy. Okay, well,
Yeah, but
thank
you
you,
know it's
OB2.
quantum. It's quantum.
It
It's
is,
all
and then
quantum.
reality jumping. That's another normalized thing that I didn't ever think could.
Oh, you got into that.
What I thought I was gonna go schizophrenic, but here I
Well,
am,
the
not
latest.
crazy.
You asked what's the funniest thing that's happened to me this week? Well, I watched the former owner of his house kind of shuffle across my front room, and he's smoking a cigarette. The smell of his cigarette was still in the room. How about that?
That is,
My son said,
and we're
"Mom,
used
you
to
don't
it.
smoke? What the hell?" I said, "No, I don't." It
Yeah.
didn't bother me at all, and it would have if it had been in this particular realm.
Hmm.
But yeah, there he was. So I saw his daughter over the weekend, or last week rather, and I said she was talking about him because, of course, this next day is Father's Day, and how much she missed him. And I said, well, he was through, and then if he comes through again, I'll let him know you're thinking of him. And she knows me. She knows I see things.
Yep.
And she's like, what did he look like? And I described him because I could see him. Sometimes I don't see them. I have a feeling of them. And yeah, it was him, all right, in his favorite sweater. How about that?
Yeah.
And it gave her a modicum of comfort,
Hmm.
which it should. It shouldn't frighten anyone or
Right.
surprise anyone.
These guys
Yeah,
don't scare me, and
no.
we, the ones here, we've learned to get along. But
Mhm.
Aussie's saying hoping Raven was going to come on. Yeah, me too. But
Yeah, I was
I don't
too.
know.
You know,
I don't know what happened.
she,
She's on her. She's going to going to the store right now. So I'm about to end the
yeah.
show. Okay, everybody. Cold is off to see the wizard. How?
All right.
Alrighty then.
Have fun. Don't forget. Have fun storming the castle. Hey, we love y'all. Okay. Mwah.
Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and hide this banner. We talked about Gobekli Tepe, and links in the description now for the Bright Insight video. Please go watch it. Please
It,
go
it was
watch it.
good. It was really good, guys, and it
And
really explains it.
yes, and it really does take a look at, it brings up all the questions that I have brought up here. Why would they be interested in it? It's not a purely financial. Why? There's no reason other than the selfish ones of they don't want us to elevate. They don't want us to advance how we're able to advance. And like Aussie says, keeping it quantum. And I'm pushing buttons.
Good
Pushing.
night,
Thanks,
all.
everybody. Good night. Y'all have a good one. Keep it quantum. Look at that video, and I am pushing buttons.